Good morning and welcome. Good morning to my live stream. This is the morning live stream that I do every day, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock and on the weekends at 8. It's the Fight CPS with your host, Bob Pace. The second live stream I do is every night at 7 p.m. It's Fight CPS Stop Taking Our Children. Both are found on Facebook, and I'm glad you did. Now, I'm here to help you with your CPS case. I'm not an attorney. I'm a loving husband and a father of 6 children I help raise. I have 42 years of marriage experience and over 60 years of life skills that I can help you with. And if you don't know what life skills are, they're things that every day of life that will help you. How to get a job, how to date, what is CPS, how to get an attorney, things like insurance, how to shop for legal insurance, how to get legal insurance so you can fight your case. A lot of things that people don't think about or can't do or whatever. But I'm here every day, over 2,000 shows, talking to all of you from not only from the United States, all 50 states, including Washington, D.C. I've talked to 22 countries, and with the U.S. as 23 countries. And good morning, Cruella. Cruella um, is from Oxnard, California, in Ventura County. And she's trying her best to stop eviction. Her mother's been missing. She thinks her mother is at her brother's. Her brother's instituted an eviction against her, but they have no no case. But somehow they're able to do so. I haven't figured it out. All I know is that she first came on here to talk about her lost babies and how her father won't give her babies back, and her CPS case is a battle. She misses documents, and she can get the documents, but it's a hard struggle for her. As far as the eviction that came as a sidebar, she's got an important date of July 22nd, where she has to be out of the place. Now, she's not renting. She's living in a home that the title is with her mother. Her brother is on the loan because he's his responsibility for the payment of the loan of the home. But somehow her mother that she was caring for, has disappeared and isn't available to help her. Her brother has made false reports, and unfortunately, Cruella decided to accept a commissioner instead of a real judge. So she has a commissioner trying to help her. She can't afford an attorney. She's trying to talk to Vincent Davis. She has a time set up with him to help her with eviction. I spent the other day with her, with Oxnard, California, with a law firm, gave her the link, told her what she needed to do, and the only expense I saw is they said they want $5, a refundable $5. So anyway, that law firm is available that will help you. There was a person that was talking on the internet, but I could answer a lot of their questions because only Cruella could answer it. But Felicia, I'm so glad. You're now telling me you're getting ready to head to the courthouse to file some emergency motions in order to push our move date. I'm so glad you found something that you can do. I hope you get it pushed because you need more time. Because, first of all, I don't know why the judge, or not the judge, the commissioner. Now, in court, they act as a referee. They work as a referee when the plaintiff and the defendant attorneys are in court sparring. The problem is she doesn't have, and with the eviction lawsuit, I don't think they give her a court appointed attorney. But it's a simple thing. All she has to do is get a notarized statement from her mother saying that she has every right to live in the home and take care of her and get it notarized. All she has to do is find her mother, bring a notary public with her who can sign and testify that that statement's true. She can file with a court that she's very legal to stay with her mother at her mother's home. She has family. She can show a driver's license, identify who she is, and she can tell the commissioner that there's no reason I am being evicted from my place. The place is not in disarray. The place does have utility bills that have to be paid. I don't know why they waited so long to get so expensive, but I heard something about the water bill. But they'll work with you. All utility companies will work with you. Corella, it just takes time. And hello, Dorothy Cook. I don't know what Calexum Cook means, but it's maybe another account. And thank you, Dorothy Cook, for being here. Dorothy Cook is a mother from North Carolina. I'd hoped this gentleman named, I think his name was Bruce, got a hold of you because he needed some help. I think there's been several people from North Carolina that like to talk to you. I know that, Krilla, and I didn't say it's not easy. Everything you have to do is not easy. But if you look at the monster and make it not easy, that's going to be really hard. Now, you said you went by your brother's house and you saw the blinds open and closed and you think your mother's in there. You can do a welfare check and see if your mother's all right. You have every right to call up the police department, the Oxnard Police Department, and do a welfare check at your brother's address to see if your mother's there and she's okay. Nothing is impossible. The word impossible doesn't exist in my language. I remember when they told me it's impossible for me to get a college degree, but I did. I remember when they said it was impossible for me to get my kids back, but I did. So don't use the word impossible. It's called determination and preservation. Preservation. It's how much determined, how much desire, and how much you want it. Now, for all that are listening or just came in the first time, there are several ways you interact with this room. Now, one of the first ways is to text a message. And I have all the details on the screen when I put it up there. There it is. So that's all you have to do to text a message. Now, I've talked to over 2,000 people, 2,500 people, thinking about how many things we're doing. And as I've done this regularly twice a day since October of 2023, I have not missed a day yet. And I'm so glad that you found me because I do want to help you. I am too a victim of CPS. I too had my children taken. CPS forced me to lose my home because my forever home I had worked 45 years. I had to sell because I needed the money to finance to get my children back. Three of my young children were taken by CPS. They weren't in danger. I let them into my home, which was a mistake. That's a no no. I let them take my children. I should say, no, you're not taking my children. They're a strong arm. They go to the school and they demand the children. They don't have a right. They're not on the emergency list. The parents have not said they had the right. My children were traumatized by the Gestapo tactics of CPS. Now, what I call CPS is the Child Protection System. It has many different names and many different counties in many different states and worldwide. But everybody knows what CPS is, so we'll call it CPS. That's what I call the Child Protection System. It's a government entity in the United States that is to protect our children from neglect and abuse. In 1962, Congress told social services to create a group of social workers to protect our children from abuse and neglect. Also, it's proven that the best parents are the biological parents, so they should do family reutilization. Family reunification is where you put the family back together after you break the family. If the family is necessary to break it up, which most of the time it isn't, they need to work on getting it back, and it results in a plan. CPS has a plan. You should have your attorney look at the plan before you sign it. Anything you don't like, you can strike a line through it and initial it. But a plan is supposed to help you get your kids back. And one of the first things you can do when you get involved in CPS is get yourself an attorney. And you probably say, I can't afford one. I didn't get legal insurance. Well, you may have to be creative financing. You may have to take out a credit line or a loan or a family member or a GoFund. Because without an attorney, it's like doing open heart surgery yourself. Can you imagine cutting open your chest cavity and pulling your heart out and try to repair it? Well, that's how fighting CPS is. You need a professional lawyer trained in the areas of juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. Those are the three areas you need. You don't need criminal. You don't need real estate. You don't need immigration. You don't need divorce. You need juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. Those all three go together. And you need an attorney that can work you through like a doctor does in open heart surgery, that can navigate through the complexity of CPS. CPS is like you're in Alice in Wonderland, you've fallen in the rabbit hole out in the garden, and you met the Chester cat that leads you to nowhere. You go from room to room, crazy things off of your head. And if you haven't seen or heard the story of Alice in Wonderland, go see it because it depicts what CPS really is. It's a group of social workers that are not trained, they're not educated, they haven't had any training. My social worker didn't even have a college degree. All she was interested in early 20s was her eyelashes, her makeup, her BMW car, her Gucci purse. Every week she had a new Gucci purse. That's all the social worker was interested in. It was sad. I felt like I was in a house of horrors with CPS. It's a horrible, traumatic experience for parents to go through. Parents are traumatized, and CPS does nothing to help out the parents. They lie, they cheat. There's no one supervising CPS or even foster care. Foster care is a group of people that CPS trains that can supposedly watch your children, but they do more than watch. They abuse the children. Now you're hearing all this negativity about CPS, and I would say not all of CPS is bad, but it's far and few. I know in California firsthand that Orange County, the CPS services there, the Child Protection Service, is very, very bad. So is San Bernardino County and Riverside County and LA County and Kern County and Santa Barbara County and San Diego County. These are all in California. And I know firsthand they're bad because I too have been a victim for a long time. I've been fighting CPS since 2010. In 2015, they stole my children, they trafficked my children. I stupidly gave permission because I thought that was the right thing to do. I did not know that you're not supposed to talk to them. You're not supposed to let them in your home. There are constitutional amendments and civil rights that protect you. And one of them is your home, your castle. And when your door is closed, the drawbridge is up. You're not letting in strangers in your home. And don't let your family members do that. Have a special knock or a ring at the door, but don't let them in. Also, I'm sad to say there are cases where mistaken people are shot to death by our law enforcement. Example, a year ago was a black airman in the United States Air Force that opened the door and shot 5 times by a Gainesville police sheriff, and he died while he's talking to his fiancee on FaceTime. How tragic is that? The guy was at the wrong house for domestic violence. Or there's a mother in LA that was arguing with an LA sheriff and his deputy in her home. She was doing her dishes. She turned, and the officer thought he was going to get hot water on her or something. I don't know. But he shot 5 times, and she died. The deputy asked the sheriff, "Should I get the first aid kit?" She says, "No, she's dead." People are so cruel. He's fired as well as the Gainesville sheriff, but that doesn't bring back a life. It doesn't help out the mother of the black airman in Alabama who's heartbroken because her son grew up to do something right. He was serving our country. He was a good kid, but he's dead from opening the door. So I tell you, to this day, I still don't open my door. It may make people mad or frustrated, but I don't. And I tell people, don't open the door and be quiet and listen. Quiet and listen. They cannot break in the door unless a child's in danger. They hear a child crying or they hear a fighting taking place, they'll break in the door. They'll come in. But there's only 3 ways they get in your home. One is you give them permission or someone gives them permission. Two, there's fighting or yelling going on, they're going to come in. And three, they have a warrant. And you see the warrant and explicitly tells you what they can do and not do. The bad thing of letting them in your home is your home is now exposed for them to find evidence. They may not have anything, but then they're going to look around. Also, if your child's at home, they will take the child. It's their MO. Children are not supposed to be taken unless they're in danger. Being in school is not being in danger. That's where my 3 kids were. I just picked up one child from school. The little guy, I never forget him. Trembling, holding me with these monster people. I had six, oh boy. I had 5 firemen, 3 social workers, 2 code enforcement, 2 uniformed police officers, and a detective. All were sitting there trying to find out something they could charge me with. And they've been out to my home for 5 years continuously once a week. And they found nothing. And they've searched my home in the past. Unfortunately, recently my dad had died, my mother was dying, and all their belongings they want me to take and give to family and friends. So I loaded everything up with my daughter. That was the last time we really had a good time together. And she helped me move my parents' belongings. It wasn't much less. It was thrown loosely in boxes by my sister. She wanted to sell the home. She wanted to liquidate everything. I told them to hang on to the home and rent it out. In fact, I was thinking about renting it myself. Ah. Sometimes I get to talking, and so I hope that people um, look. We got classic mommy from Georgia here. I'm so glad you're here. Now, Corilla says when I called the NCIS to make a report about my dad and my brother's unlawful misconduct, as they're on active duty military service members, what happened? And classic mommy from Burke County in Georgia. Thank you. She just got her children back the other day. She's doing a civil lawsuit, and Vincent Davis is going to be her attorney. Now, Carilla says Alleged military personnel takes abuse of any kind very seriously. Yet multiple federal investigator organizers tell me they don't investigate situation with these specific circumstances. I don't know what your dad being treated has to do with your mom being kidnapped or about your eviction or your two babies that your dad won't give back. So I'm really um, trying to understand you, Felicia. Now, um, Calexum Cook says, cruel, contact your local register of deeds and ask whose name is on the deed to the home. Yes, I know that, Calexum Cook. Her mother is on the title of the home, is on the deed. And you said her property, then he has ownership. Who's he? If you're talking about her brother, he's not on the title. He's only on the loan. Are you talking about her father? See, her father's against her. Now, Classical Mommy from Georgia says on multiple occasions, our worker kept advertising her hair extensions in her sissy beauty shop. I told her I have more important things to discuss with her. I know that, Classic Mommy. And thank you, Classical Mommy. It is hard for me to be here day after day, twice a day. But anyway, I thank so much that Calix and Cook is here and Classical Mommy and even Corella, who is trying so hard to figure this out for her. It's very complicated and she needs to make it simplified. But anyway, um, you still have the internet, Corella. You still have that attorney in Oxnard that will help you for $5. He's a retired judge, and it looks like it's a good law firm. Anyway, I had that text message up there for a long time. I think you guys got it memorized. Uh, you can also be a guest on my live stream, and there it is in black and white. All you have to do is email to my show producer. Emails there. You pick one of my 14 shows, my Sunday morning show, Friday night show, any day of the week, morning or night. That's all you have to do. And she'll give you the link and you get in your browser and you be in on the show. And she'll tell you what to do and what not to say and everything. So that's to be a guest. And I have my phone number up. We still got over a half an hour to take phone calls from some people. I love to hear from you. Hello, Andrew Hutchinson. I need help in West Virginia about CPS. Well, Andrew, if you want to call in and share your story, I'll help you. I've had a lot of calls from West Virginia. CPS is very bad in West Virginia. Oh, I have very hard evidence of breach of confidentially. You know, Andrew, unless you have an attorney, that evidence will never be heard in court. And if you think the court appointed attorney or the public defender is going to help you, they won't. Now, Cruella says my brother, who is a Navy chief, is mom's POA. Now, I don't know what a point POA is. It's a point of something. Despite my parents having been separated since I was 4 years old in '99, my parents, including my stepmom, have collectively bonded over their negative malicious perceptions. Yeah. Well, I know. that your family's turned against you, Felicia. There you go. Classical mommy from Georgia says, call in. My number's there. I don't bite. The number is 626 698 0990. Now, the other number you see on the screen, the 888 is the law offices of Vincent Davis, and he will help you. He will help you. And when you call that number, you'll talk to reception. Make sure you tell them that Bob Pace sent you. And when you talk to Mr. Davis, tell him that Bob Pace sent you. If you're ready to hire an attorney with over 39 years of getting children back, of fighting CPS, who is trained and licensed in juvenile law, family law, and dependency law, who is also a trial attorney and can act in civil affairs. He's a civil rights attorney also. He can sue CPS, has done so, both in federal court and state court, and won millions of dollars back from CPS. He's the real deal. He's a pit bull of attorney. He's in LA County. His retainer for LA County is approximately 5,000, and it can be high or low depending on your case and the complexity and how long it's been going on. Retainers are a temporary amount of money, so a lawyer has something to work on. So it isn't where he does the work and then you pay him. And a lot of people have a hard time coming up with the money, but he wants us some money to start off with. It doesn't mean the case will cost 5,000. It may only cost 2,000, or it may cost 6,000. But you'll have to replenish the retainer as time goes on. Now, Krula thought her stepmom and I had a relationship worth mentioning. I bragged about our family dynamic. My dad raised my older brother majority of his youth, as his biological father had limited access. Oh boy. Your case gets more and more complicated, Cruella. It sounds like your mom had a different father for your brother. I thought your brother, the father that you have, was the same father. Apparently, your mom had two children, your brother and you, and both of you have different dads. And the dad that had you has your babies but refuses to give them to you. And I guess your stepdad and stepmom have been really bad. And your real mom is cared and you've been taking care of her. You need to establish that in the court. You need to tell them that you're the caregiver. You need a copy of the title to prove who owns the home and dispense this fraudulent eviction brought on by your brother. It's wrong. Okay, a PA is a power of attorney. Thank you. Oh boy, I'm losing my voice. Can't do that. POA, power of attorney. Okay. I think that was mentioned by Cruella. Her brother is mom's power of attorney. Well, that's not a good thing because he can be crooked. It somehow your biological dad and your brother have turned against you. I don't know about your stepdad. He said that he's bad and your stepmom was. I know that your grandmother, you said, is good and she will help you. Andrew Hudson, yes, from West Virginia. Well, I know CPS has the whole state of West Virginia wrapped around their fingers. I believe that. I've called every lawyer in the state and attorney general's office, and no one wants to take this case. They're scared. Well, Vincent Davis wouldn't be scared, but he's going to cost you some money. I know for him to come and fight in Georgia, it's a $125,000 retainer. To go to Wisconsin, it's another $125,000 retainer. That seems to be his high end, low end being five. He's $500 an hour, but he's the best out there. You should always get three quotes, and he can be one of them because I can strongly recommend him. You need to, when you're shopping for an attorney, get the right ones that have the experience in juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. One that's fought CPS, getting children back, and also doing civil lawsuits. That's an added plus. And you can find them in any city or state or wherever you want. You just have to format your questions. My rule number 4 talks about how to use the internet, how to find things in CPS. It's so important you use the right browser and you use the right way with your choice of things. It is it is hard. Ah. Yeah, the POA, not POW, it's POA, classical mommy. Yeah, if her brother is your mom's power of attorney, you got a problem there, Felicia. I did not know that. It seems with you, you leave out some important facts to help you with your case. I've known you a long time, Cruella, and you've been in my room more regularly than anybody, and I want to help you. But you got to help yourself. You got to do things I tell you to do that you may not like to do. But I don't want you evicted living on the streets. It's wrong. I've been there. I've lived in my car when I had to give up my forever home. I had to quick sell it, and I had no home to live in. I've been down and low. It's so bad. Every day I live with the loss of my daughter. She's 23 now. In fact, I have two daughters that I've lost touch with. I have a 36-year-old daughter not seen since age 3. I keep hoping that she'll come back or talk to me. You know, they talk about that, but that never seems to happen. And yes, I made mistakes. That's one thing you should do, a life skill, is do lots of journals. I remember there was a TV show called Doogie Howser, MD. He was a brilliant young kid that was a doctor at an early age. But he used to go to his computer and type in a little memo of what transpired that day. All of you should keep journals because they're something you can use later in life. And if your child, if you died, they'd have something to look at. So try to, as a life skill, to create journals. Now, what I do also in CPS is I tell people, and rule number 2, which is documentation, you need to create a very important document. It's called a timeline incident form. It's simple, it's a sheet of paper, and you only have to use 3 lines on that notebook paper for each incident. First line is either the phone number or the place that the incident happened. You put the date and the time and the people involved. The second line is what the incident was about. It's a short summary of what the incident was about. The third line is the outcome. You may not know it right away, it may take months, but keep it blank if you don't have anything. Skip a couple lines and put the next incident, and then the next incident, the next incident. Incidents are any kind of action with your CPS social workers, your police, your family members, the school, anybody that's involved in your case that creates an incident should be recorded in a timeline. It's the most important document that you can ever think of. And I wish I had followed my own advice because you won't remember 6 months, a year from now, all the details. So that's what an incident timeline is. It's a timeline of events that happened to you regarding CPS. Now, it's a quarter till and no one's tried to call in. And I have a very sad emoji face from Calexum Cook. It's a contruded face. I don't know what that means. It says it's a care. You care. Okay. All right. Maybe that's what that means. It cares. Right now, it's getting to be less and less time for call in. I'm checking my phone and see if anybody eventually called in. I don't see anybody. I know we had Christina Reynoso come in after the show, and she's from there. So, um, the two witnesses to the power of attorney are former case workers of your mom or company workers of your mom. Okay. Andrew Hudson from West Virginia says they gave information to my wife, which in turn has threatened to use inappropriate against us as leverage in a custody case for a 4 month old daughter. You need to fight it. You need to get an attorney. And I know you said you can't find an attorney that will step in and help you. And if you use a court appointed attorney, you got to make them work. You got to put heat underneath their seat of their pants and have him or her fight for your case. I mean, if you have to use it, you have to use it. Well, we got a call, but yeah, boy. Good morning and welcome to my live stream. This is Bob Pace. And who do I have the pleasure of talking to? Oh, Dorothy Cook. Question for you, Dorothy. Why have you changed your first name? It's so hard to pronounce. Okay. All right. Okay, Dorothy. Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad you called in, Dorothy Cook. Um, it's so hard with Cruella. Um, yeah. Right.
It made us be the mother was kidnapped, but that her brother was being that or whatever and had her place somewhere. And it's why people's not willing to get in. So that's all I was saying. She needs to find out what's really going on instead of, waiting around based upon what somebody else is saying and how they're saying it and what they're doing. I mean, you go to the registry of deeds to contact them and find out exactly, what it states on the deed. Because with my family, when my grandmother passed, when I went years later to look at the deed, it ended up my grandmother's name was on the deed instead of my grandmother, and he had died years ago. And then someone else came in and did some put these claims and changed things around and look at put it in there. So she don't know what's going on. She won't know. So that's why I asked her to go check and make sure who knows up there. She has something to work with.
I got something going in my background I'm trying to get rid of. I don't know what's going on right now. I'm trying to turn it off right now. Hold on a second. Okay, I got it turned off. Hopefully everybody's hearing me okay. Okay. Ah, I hear myself, so I am transmitting okay. That's good. Okay. Um, a little bit delay. Okay, Corilla, are you hearing Dorothy Cook? Are you hearing Dorothy Cook, Corilla? And welcome, Renee McIntyre. You need over $900,000 to fight CPS. Wow, that's $1 million. That's $1 million. That's to fight him on the national level. Andrew Hudson, thank you for calling me, but I can only talk to one person at a time. I'm talking to Dorothy Cook. I'll gladly. Okay. Thank you, Dorothy. Bye bye. Okay, Andrew, I'm going to call you right now. I'm going to call you, Andrew. Yeah, Andrew, I'm sorry I couldn't take your call. Dorothy Cook got off. She had called in before you had called. So now I'm calling you back. And welcome from West Virginia. You were sitting there saying they gave information to my wife, which has turned threatening to you. Who gave information? Was that okay? Do you hear me now? Okay. You had made a comment in the room. They gave information to my wife. Who is they? Okay. Which in turn is. Okay. Well, public defenders a lost cause because they will do nothing but dig you a grave because they work for CPS. Sad to say. You got to make them work because they don't work for your case. They just look for the easy way out. Right. Well, you know, the thing is that first of all, the court appointed attorneys are not trained in the areas of juvenile law, family law, or dependency law. They're criminal attorneys first starting out in life. They're hired by CPS, they're paid by CPS. So they're going to work for the person that pays them. That's all people do. If you ever want to know who has the power, it's that whoever has the money has the power, and the people with the money are the ones that pay, and that individual will work for that person. So that's where the downside is. So that's the downside of getting it. But you can replace public defenders. You go to the public defender's office in court and say, this person is not performing. You can also sue them in a civil lawsuit for.
disclosure, restricted disclosure of confidential matters.
Right.
We could hold them in contempt.
Not only that, you can also go to the state capitol in West Virginia, go to the web page there and file a complaint against that attorney, and they'll lose their license. You can file a complaint. They'll investigate that attorney. And if what they say is true, their license will be pulled. That doesn't help you, though. Yeah, the ombudsperson will help you, or the civil rights will help you. The civil rights coordinator at the state capital of West Virginia. What is the capital of West Virginia? Okay, in Charleston, they have a web page. It's a government web page for the government of West Virginia. And in there, there'll be a civil rights coordinator. There'll also be an area where you can file a complaint against a lawyer. And you can tell that lawyer that you're going to file a complaint against them in court at the state level at the bar. It's the bar association. You want to look up the BAR, and I don't mean drinking bar. I'm talking about the bar association of attorneys. That's what you look for, and you contact them and you fill out a form, and you register your complaint, and they will investigate it. And if they found it's true, they'll take his license away. And attorneys don't like to hear you doing that you're going to approach the bar. They don't like you also if you threaten them with a civil lawsuit for neglect. They're neglecting you. That's what the civil lawsuit's all about, neglect. And you can file that. But Andrew, go ahead. Go ahead.
It kind of hurts because my daughter's only 4 months old, and
Mm.
I just met her one time 2 days ago.
Oh, my question is, are you the father on the birth certificate?
And the father, we were married, and she got pregnant. And,
Did
this
you
whole
ever
thing
do
happened.
you ever do a DNA test to show that you need to do one right away? They're not expensive. You just ask, I want a DNA test, so that proves you're the biological father of that daughter. CPS needs to know that too. CPS needs to know that too. Because a father has rights as well as the mother. Now, did you guys do a separation or a divorce? Okay. Oh, okay. So you definitely, well, there'd be a custody battle over the of the daughter. Right. Uh, yeah. Be Be careful of guardian ad litem and casas, even on bus persons, because sometimes their ears for CPS. You can't trust the guardian ad litem, and you cannot trust the casa, the court appointed uh, advocate. Let's see, court appointed something advocate. What does S stand for? Court appointed something advocate. But they're supposed everybody, the mother, the father, the children, each get a casa, and they are very corrupt because they do are listening ears. They're hoping you will say something. They want to hear some stuff, and they'll say it's true. Now, what are you being? What is the mother and the father being accused of? What are you both accused of? Okay, so your wife and you had domestic violence. Did it become physical? Okay. Do you have a restraining order against each other? You did not ask for a restraining order? Well, you should ask for a restraining order because it will help your case. But it just
confirmed it. But I obtained those medical records via my lawyer, and I read them, and nowhere does it state that she was hurt. They even said that she did not need any hospitalization. Um, but then, they used that against me in the adjudication.
right. Well, that DNA test is so important that you get, Andrew, because you need to prove that you're the biological father. Because you have rights to your daughter. If you guys were married, you will have rights. And there'll be a custody battle where hopefully you guys will share equal time with your daughter. The mother's going to want no rights for you because she wants all of it so that um, you cannot. Yeah, it is alienation. You're right. You have to also be careful because if you don't have equal rights and she says 80% with her, you're going to pay more in child support. And that's going to be really expensive on you. Also, the visitations, if she wants all the visitations. You see, a woman that's scorned will try to use CPS, but it may have backfired because she's responsible because she was arguing too with domestic violence. Now, domestic violence is not necessary to save the child to be in custody because they could have been with a family member. But CPS wants them with foster care or in custody because they get more money. It's all about money. They get 20,000. They get $20,000 per child per month every time a child's in their custody. Yep, right. I hear you. I hear you. Now, who is the mother of your 10-year-old son? Okay, has your 10-year-old son been taken away from you? Why is they take because the domestic violence was in front of your 4 month old and your okay, all right. Oh boy. Yeah. Well, it's called patience, and it's one of the things that people don't have. It takes a long time. It took me my children were stolen and trafficked into the foster care in 2015. I did not get them back to 2017. I didn't get back all of them. My daughter, as part of the retaliation by the social worker, who was found in court to commit perjury, she lied in court and she was caught in their lies. And she told her daughter that since you're 12 years old, you can emancipate from your parents. That means you can divorce your mom and dad. And my daughter was so gullible, and she saw her Barbie world with her adopted foster care family. So she changed her name completely. She sealed her birth certificate. She divorced her parents, and she got a new birth certificate with the foster parents on it. Got a second social security card where she was double dipping the money from both social security cards she had. One was her original birth and one was the other. so she was double dipping from my retirement plan. When you're older, you get additional help with young children if you're an older father or mother. And I think you have to be in your 60s. You can get extra help by getting more money from your retirement plan. So she was double dipping, which is illegal. If Social Security found out that social service was allowing that, the two agencies would be really in a big battle. Well, I okay. There's an agency that I put up called Doge. It's the Department of Government Efficiency. They are aware because several weeks ago, I had an intake worker call me from social services because I get help and assistance from social services. And I noticed before we started the conversation that there was another lady on the line that said she was a supervisor from Doge investigating the social services of the Orange County, California. The Orange, the CPS, the Child Protection Arm of Social Services in Orange County. Each county has a CPS entity, and social services where it all starts. That was mandated by Congress in '62. So this lady that talked to me, the social service lady, the social worker, spoke beautiful English, sounded very intelligent, was patient, asked the right questions, and when she hung up, she had made a mistake, so she called me back and corrected her mistake. But that was the first time that I know firsthand that the Department of Government Efficiency is investigating the government entities to make sure we no longer pay people that are dead money, that we don't pay people that sit at home that do no work money, that we have agencies that don't have a lot of wasteful spending like CPS does. It's $1 trillion business. They send billions of dollars to the state. The state in turn sends millions to the county. It's unaccounted for. And right now, I know that in Kentucky, Richmond, Kentucky, there's $1 million being investigated that the state sent to the county there in Richmond. They call their CPS the cabinet. Anyway, they found a social worker embezzled 400,000 of it. The embezzlement of money in the government is really bad. Every year, every 6 months or 3 months, we have to come up with money to keep the government open, and that's what that is all about. They've found so far billions of dollars. They want to get trillions. They want to find it, but they found billions so far. And there's a web page. Go ahead. Yeah. Yep. Money is the root of evil. We need money to survive, but we need to be. We got to have something structured in life, and I call it God. It's. I try to make it simple. I think we all have to believe in a creator. I call that creator God. And I just I just found out that God and Jesus are the same. That when God sent himself down to be born of Mary and walk among the earth people there, that was God. I didn't realize that. That was God. And he's going to come again because our life, our world is in very great turmoil. We worry about the children in the United States, but the children in Ukraine are suffering so bad. The children in a lot of the African countries. I have right now Liberia, Sudan, Republic of Congo, Rwanda, Mozambique, and the provinces of South Africa that have bad cases of CPS. I have a mother named Leica that calls me. She talked to me last night for over an hour. She's 9 hours ahead of me, but she used her RAN, which is very expensive to talk for 1 hour from South Africa to the United States. Her country code's 27, but she had found out she had lost her husband and she found out her boyfriend she was seeing was a pedophile. And she reported that, and then the government turned against her. The government is so corrupt in so many of the African countries. It's corrupt in Libya. I have a person from Libya that called me. It's corrupt in Bangladesh and India. There's so many places in the world where it's bad. I had a Maori woman from New Zealand talk about how bad and corruption the child protection system is in New Zealand. Maoris are the indigenous tribe of people that live in New Zealand. We have our first immigrants, the Native American Indians, over 10,000 years ago. They came across from Asia through the Bering Sea through a land bridge. Anyway, they are here, and generations later, they're the first immigrants. The Vikings came along, but they were explorers and raiders. They did not stay here or live in the United States. They went as far west as Missouri and on the Mississippi River, and they explored Nova Scotia and Rhode Island and places like that, but they did not live here because the Native American Indians were very, very, very hard to deal with, only because the Vikings are hard because they're raiders. They're very warlike people. Anyway, they died out in the 1900 about 1000 AD. They died out. The ancestors of the Vikings. In fact, I have in my ancestors' blood. I'm from Bergen, Norway. Bergen is an old Viking town in Norway, and so anyway, CPS worldwide is a problem. It's a worldwide problem here in the United States. And you have to sit there and fight, and it's hard to fight. It gets discouraging. Corella, who is from Oxnard, California, is trying to fight not only getting her two babies back, but eviction. She has families. That's another thing is when family turns against you. Her brothers turned against her. Her brother has power of attorney. Her mother has title to the home that she lived in, but her brother's got eviction notice to his sister. And on top of that, she has to be out by July 22nd. So she's making a stay in court, another motion to extend the time because they don't have a reason. Her brother has fictitiously caused a reason, and it's sad. Her two babies are with her two babies are with her. I want to say with her dad. It's her stepdad or a biological. I get confused because she has a biological and a stepdad, and so her mother's son, who's her brother, is a different father. She has the mother married twice or had two different relationships, but the brother and her are step siblings. But anyway, she has a really tough time, and she goes around all of you. And I'm glad you found me here because Andrew, you're part of my family, and you're welcome to be on here twice a day, and you can call twice a day. If things get rough and you want someone to talk to, it's easy as pick up the phone and calling. And yes, and it's been the 10 months that maybe you wish you'd found me earlier because I have so many ideas I can help you with. I've been right now telling some life skills, not only about God, but I've also been telling about getting uh, insurance for legal. A lot of people get insurance for cars and homes, but they forget about legal insurance. They don't even think about it. There's pet insurance, there's appliance insurance, there's car repair insurance. If a car part fails, there's insurance that can fix the car part and save you thousands of dollars. Well, if you have legal insurance, it'll pay the retainer. If you have to come up with a five, ten, $100,000 retainer, it's hard. So I tell people you need to get legal insurance. And I don't mean legal help like Zoom or someplace you pay a monthly subscription. I'm talking about the real deal that if you have a criminal case, let's say your son or daughter involved in DUI, you need an attorney for that. Otherwise, your son or daughter is going to end up in court a long time. So legal insurance will pay for those attorneys. You just got to find it. They are out there. They are out there. Yes, yes. Yeah, I, right. Go ahead. Yeah, yeah. Well, she's so bullheaded. She's going to be bullheaded. She's going to be pulled by family members. Religion to me is that I've developed that, a train goes on a journey somewhere, and a train rides two railroad tracks. And I don't know if you know the book The Polar Express, but it's about a boy going on a journey on a train. But the left rail I call the circle of life, and that came from the Lion King. Some of us have big circles, some have smaller circles. The right rail is the stairway to heaven. Led Zeppelin had made a song called The Stairway to Heaven. And you need to have a goal in your life to go to heaven. In order to go to heaven, you have to repent your sins and do good deeds. And the railroad ties represent the strong wood is very strong, represents a deed that connects the left to the right. And as long as you do deeds and get there, you'll get to heaven. But you got to keep that in mind. Now, I don't want to make it complicated. I think you can read the Bible and follow the Ten Commandments. That's all you really need. It isn't all about all the gobbledygook that comes with religion. And I'm not trying to put down that their religion's bad or anything like that. But it's simple. You need to find a church that once a week you can hear a message from the priest, the pastor, the minister, whoever leads the church. Because there are good people out there that'll give you some valuable insights. That's what I go to. And I'm not saying one is better than the other. I've been on a long road now to try to get to heaven, and I really want to get there. So I tell about religion is like the journey on the train. You have that journey and you really want to get there. And you got to keep in mind that a train needs both rails to run. And to keep the rails strong, you have these ties that connect. And each tie represents a deed in life that's good. So, anyway, I've really reached my limit on my time. I've run my show. It's now 14 minutes after 11. My show usually ends at 11 o'clock. My running time says I've gone 1 hour and 7 minutes. So I do need to go. There'll be a yes, and I just want you to know that you're always welcome here. You're always welcome here, and I don't want you ever to say that you're not. Now, I'm on twice a day, and tonight, people, I will be on at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or tomorrow morning. Today is Friday, so this is the weekend. Tomorrow I'll be on at 8 o'clock in the morning. So please come back. Krilla, today is the 18th. The 22nd well, is I think Tuesday. So we need to help you out. You have a deadline. Also, Andrew, I hope you come back. And thank you, Andrew, for calling in and shared your story from West Virginia. And I want to thank Dorothy Cook from North Carolina. Thank you very much, Dorothy Cook, for helping me, for calling in, for caring about people in the room. It's always good when you call in, Dorothy Cook. I love your voice. And Cruella, I do care. I want to help you. I learned some more. I learned your brother's the power of attorney. That's something I didn't know. Anyway, I learned more about your two fathers and how your brother and you are related. Renee, I don't know where you are in this world, but please tell me. And I wish I could give you the 900,000 to fight CPS. It's going to take a lot of money to fight them. Classical Mommy, thank you for calling in from Georgia. I mean, it was really good to hear from you, Classical Mommy. And she got her children back. She's going to hire Vincent Davis and sue CPS in Georgia. She's going to sue CPS in Georgia. And I've talked about Andrew from West Virginia. Let me see who else I have here. I hope I didn't leave anybody out here because there's always some people that come in, don't talk much, they say one thing and then they stop. But as I go through the room, okay, I've covered everybody. And I want to thank the emojis from Donna Yasuski and from Dorothy Cook. You know, you care. I love the care face. And then Donna Yasuski, thank you for the thumbs up. You've been in my room a lot. I don't know where you're from, but it'd be nice you share with me. You may be from another country. I don't know. So God bless you all. Please watch this message from Vincent Davis at the end of my live stream. And I put up the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. There's a web page. There's phone numbers that are to the White House, and there's the email. It all works. Please, if you can't get anywhere, send them your complaint, your argument, or where the case may be. So don't stop fighting for your family or your children. Don't give up. Never give up. Remember, never give up. Never give up. There are a lot of people never give up. So God bless you all, and I will see you tonight.
A vivid picture is encrypted in your mind as the critics get in line like they're witnessing a crime. But then you notice there's a shiver in your spine from the feelings of discontentment and bitterness combined. Heartbroken when you listen to the judges, another kid's innocence corrupted. And if you go against then it's destructive. Consider this predicament the toughest, but we believe in a system fit for justice. Child Protective Services only pretends to save it. The one solution for this is worthy of instant praises. 30 years of experience with relentless cases. Allow me to introduce them. This is Vincent Davis, defending you when they don't think a mother fits the role. Is it juvenile dependency or government control? Observe the pain in their eyes. It's time for us to realize we are the last one.